Hello and welcome to a yoga session. My name is Eli Yoga09032020. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. We get to start our yoga session in a seated position. If you would rather bring yourselves up onto your heels, if this is okay for your knees, you're welcome to do that. I'm going to sit with my legs crisscross applesauce. You go with what feels best for your body. We'll begin with a little bit of alternate nostril breathing. So take your right hand, close your right nostril with your right thumb. Breathe in through your left nostril. Before you breathe out, close your left nostril and breathe out through your right. Now breathe in through this right nostril. And before you breathe out, open up the left and breathe out through the left. Then breathe in. Keep this alternate nostril breathing for you. If you do have sinus issues, you're not required to do this. You might get a little runny nose going on as well. Whatever you choose to do, just focus on your breath. Emptying your mind, clearing your thoughts. The next time you breathe in more air than your mind thinks your body can allow. The next time you breathe out more air than your mind thinks your body can allow. Let's release our hands back down. Switch the cross of your applesauce. One breath, one movement, hands rest down by your sides. Breathe in, lengthening our arms up and overhead. Breathing out, clasping our hands and pressing our palms forward. Breathe in, we lengthen our arms back up and overhead. Breathing out to release our hands by our sides. Breathe in, we lengthen our arms up and overhead. Breathe out, we press our palms forward. Breathe in, lengthen our arms up and overhead. Breathing out to release our hands by our sides. Continue this process, moving as fast or as slow as your breath guides you. Let's release our hands back down, resting our wrists onto our knees. Let's create a circular motion. You choose how deep or not so deep this circular motion creates, depending on what is going on with your spine. One breath, one movement, body and mind working together. Breath and movement matching. Let's reverse the direction of our circular motion. We're bringing ourselves back to center. We can straighten our legs forward. You can keep your legs crisscrossed. We're going to return to that upper body choreography that we did. When we clasp our hands forward, you have the option with your legs crisscrossed or out in front of you to go into a forward fold. Breathe and lengthen arms up and overhead. Breathe out to release our hands down by our sides. Breath continuation. It's okay if you do not want to add your forward fold. During our session today, I'm going to introduce the use of the positive affirmation. When I say the positive affirmation, I will repeat it immediately afterwards. And I encourage you, for the second time that I state our positive affirmation, I encourage you to say it out loud as well. The idea of the positive affirmation is that hearing the sound of your own voice saying positive things about yourself or about your body is extremely empowering. However, if you feel subconscious about saying it, you don't have to. You could say it quietly in your mind, or you can completely ignore it. So our positive affirmation for today is, today, my presence in this world matters. If you'd like to repeat that with me, you can. Today, my presence in this world matters. Now, throughout the course of today's session, I will just randomly say this positive affirmation, and you will have the opportunity to repeat it with me the second time around. This will be our last repetition. We'll bring ourselves back up, releasing our hands down to the floor. We find ourselves laying on our backs if we're able to. If we're not able to lay on our backs, it's okay to go up onto all fours, onto hands and knees, and perform a spinal balance as a substitute. If you are able to lay on your back, let's move into our activated bridge. Breathe in, raise our arms up and overhead. Breathe out, raise our butt off of the mat into our activated bridge. Breathe in, drop the butt, raise the arms. Breathing out to raise the butt and lower those hands. One breath, one movement, body and mind working together. Breath and movement matching. Let's keep our butt resting down, and let's rest our arms back down by our sides. Crab walk. Raise one foot to the sky, opposite arm reaches up and overhead, and then we rest this foot down. Then we raise our other leg, opposite arm, opposite leg. Maybe just raise a leg, maybe just raise an arm. For that leg that goes to the floor, if you'd like to rest it flat down to the mat instead of a bent knee, you're welcome to do this. I prefer, because of my back issues, to rest my foot to the mat with a bent knee. So you go with what feels best for your body today. And every day is different. So what you may appreciate today could be different for tomorrow, and that's okay. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. Wherever we are, we're releasing down. If we're on hands and knees, we can rest down as well. We're going to roll over to one side and prop ourselves up. I've got my elbow, my forearm down to the ground. My top hand is going to go behind my back. I'm going to raise my feet up, and I'm going to straighten and fold through the knees. If this hurts your bottom, the hip joint below, then it's okay. Go into a seated position and do an activated lateral flexion from a seated position. Last one like this. We switch it over to the other side. Drop elbow and forearm down. Top hand behind our back. Folding our knees and straightening. One breath, one movement, body and mind working together. Breath and movement matching. Excellent. Rest your legs down. Let's roll over onto all fours, hands and knees. Cat-cow postures. Have your knees, have some distance in between those knees. As we breathe out, we round into our beautiful Halloween cat. Breathe in as we arch into our cow. We're creating a C-curve shape with our spine in two opposing directions. Breathe in as we arch. Breathe out as we round. If you need to substitute a fist for a wrist, you're welcome to substitute a fist for a wrist in any yoga pose with the exception of our downward facing dog. Let's find ourselves in our neutral spine, head in line with our tailbone. We wag the tailbone. Wag your tailbone to one side, send your eye gaze over this shoulder. Return to center. Wag your tailbone over to the other side, sending our eye gaze over that shoulder. And continue. Now avoid wagging your tailbone. Keep that nice and neutral. Just work the upper torso and really feel your lateral flexors working for you. Last one, return to center. Sit back onto your heels, child's pose extended. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, return to child's pose extended or maybe down dog. Breathing into our plank. Breathing out to our down dog or a child's pose extended. You select the option that works best for your body today. One breath, one movement. Body and mind working together. Breath and movement matching. Let's release our knees down. Child's pose it back. Walk our hands towards our feet. Roll ourselves up. Finding ourselves wrapping our feet around towards the fronts of our mats. Boat pose. 2, yoga tabletop. Rest the booty down, boat to yoga tabletop. If you're not able to straighten your legs, you can just send those hands behind those hamstrings, possibly. Boat to tabletop. You can substitute a fist for a wrist in that yoga tabletop as well. If this doesn't work for you, activated bridge return is another option. Let's bring ourselves back up. We're going to wrap our feet around towards the backs of our mats. Down dog or child's pose extended. If you choose down dog, let's walk the dog, alternating as we press one heel down, then the next. Let's walk, hop, or jump, feet forward, forward fold. It's okay to soften your knees. It's okay to have your hands to blocks. Using the power of our legs, we breathe in, circle sweep, our arms to the sky. Breathing out, let's release our hands and our energy to our heart center, finding ourselves moving into our sun salutations. Standing mountain pose. You can have your feet connected, inner thighs connected. I prefer my contemporary approach with my feet about a sits bones distance apart. We breathe in, lengthen our arms to the sky. Left leg will lead first today. Breathe out, swan diving forward, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we're looking forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, we step our left foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, lengthening, heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back. Down dog or child's pose extended. Upper body flow. Let's breathe into our plank or our modified plank, chest over hands. Breathe out when we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, drop the hips. Roll upward facing dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose with or without that extra push-up. We step our left foot forward. Right knee to the mat or not, you decide, mindful of left knee placement. Breathe in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Using the power of our legs, we breathe in, reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Right side. Breathe in, lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathe out, swan diving forward, hinging from our hips, forward fold. Breathe in, we're looking forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, we step our right foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, sinking through the right psoas, hip flexors. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back, down dog or child's pose extended. Let's breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, drop the hips, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose extended. We step our right foot forward. Left knee to the mat or not, you decide. Breathing in, heart center sky. Breathing out, releasing our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in as we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose, left side. Breathe in, we lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathing out, we're swan diving, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we gaze forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, we step our left foot back, kneeling warrior. I'll show crescent lunge. You choose what works best for you. Breathe in, add the arms, or don't add the arms, your choice. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back, down dog, or child's pose, maybe right leg kicks up to a three-legged down dog. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank, chest over hands. Breathe out, that right leg hip remain lifted as we chaturanga down. Now breathe in, rest both feet to the mat, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog, or child's pose extended. We step our left foot forward. Right knee to the mat or not, you decide. Breathing in, heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in, we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Right side. Breathe in, lengthen arms to the sky, extended mountain. Breathing out, we're swan diving, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we're looking forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, we step our right foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, arms or no arms. Breathe out, release our hands, stepping back, down dog or child's pose, maybe left leg kicks up to a three-legged down dog. We breathe into our plank or modified plank, that left leg could remain lifted. Breathe out, chaturanga, better knees to hit the mat than chest or belly. Breathe in, drop the hips, roll up dog. Breathe out, maybe add your extra push-up. Back to your down dog or your child's pose extended. We step our right foot forward. Breathing in, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing out, release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in as we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Left side, 2 more sun salutations. Breathe in, lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathing out when we swan dive, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we're gazing forward, monkey. Breathe out, we step our left foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, heart center sky. Breathing out, releasing our hands as we step back, down dog, or child's pose, maybe right leg kicks up to a three-legged down dog. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, both feet to the mat. Roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose. We step our left foot forward. Breathing in, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing out, releasing our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in as we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Right side. Breathe in, lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathe out, we're swan diving, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we gaze forward, monkey. Breathe out, we step our right foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, arms or no arms. Breathing out, releasing our hands as we step back, down dog, or child's pose, maybe left leg kicks up to a three-legged down dog. Let's breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Left leg can remain lifted. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, both feet to the mat. Roll up dog. Breathe out, maybe add your extra push-up back to your down dog or your child's pose. We step our right foot forward. Breathing in, heart center sky. Breathing out, release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in, let's reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Breathe in, let's lengthen our arms back up and overhead. Breathing out, releasing hands and energy to our heart center. We'll send our hands behind our backs for a chest expansion. We can hang out here, attempting to raise our hands towards the sky. If you wanted to keep your palms pressing towards each other, it's a lot more challenging. I'm getting a grimace on my face. Remember to breathe. You could also add a forward fold if you're so inclined for today. I'm going to let my palms go. I'm more comfortable that way. I'm more relaxed. Go with what feels best for your body. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. If you're in a forward fold position, return to a standing upright position. Everybody gets to release their hands. Standing mountain pose. Palms are facing forward. Shoulders are melting away from our ears. We breathe in, lengthen those arms back up and overhead. Breathe out, clasping our fingers together, point our fingers to the sky. As we breathe out, laterally flex to one side, maybe send our eye gaze up towards the ceiling. Always breathe. The next time we breathe in, we return to center. And the next time we breathe out, we laterally flex over to the other side, potentially sending our eye gaze to the sky. Let's breathe in, return to center. Breathe out, release our hands and our energy to our heart center. Finding ourselves standing in a wide sunflower stance. Toes turn out towards the corners of our mat, heels turn slightly inward. We breathe in, lengthen our arms up and overhead. Breathe out, sunflower circles, a brief return to one breath, one movement, sweeping the floor, choosing one direction, possibly sending our eye gaze to our moving hands. It's okay to continue to look straight forward as well. Let's reverse the direction of these sunflower circles. Sweeping the floor, you choose how deep you bend through the knee joint. Last one, keeping arms elevated up and overhead. Let's release hands and energy to our heart center. We'll turn our left toes towards the backs of our mats, pressing our right heel towards the front of our mat. Triangle pose. Breathe in, lean over towards the back of your mat, booty towards the front of your mat. Breathe out, dropping your left hand to knee, shin, block, ankle, foot, or floor. Automatically extend the right fingers to the sky. Maybe look at your right hand. Press those hips forward to imagine your body's in between two window panes, carefully not touching the glass in front or behind us. Let's release our top hand down. Pyramid pose. We're going to step our right foot slightly inward so our feet are a little bit closer, straightening through the left knee joint. We're twisting our hips forward and back towards the back of our mat in a way to determine if one hip placement over another creates a desired sensation. We can stay here in our pyramid pose. If we have blocks, we can place our hands on blocks or textbooks to assist us for those of us that might be hamstring challenged. Those blocks can assist us for our one-legged standing straddle splits. If you like, fold through your left knee joint, walk those blocks or those hands about 12 inches in front of your left foot. We're going to raise our right foot off of the floor as high to the sky as we can, drawing our face as close to our left leg as possible. So different than balancing half moon. If your balance allows you to, send one hand to your left ankle, maybe both hands to this left ankle. Using the power of your hands to draw your face a little bit closer to this leg. And we're breathing. You can stay here in your one-legged standing straddle splits. If you'd like to activate it with me, release your hands back down to the floor to blocks. Breathe in, bend both knees in. Breathe out to straighten both knees and shoot those right toes to the sky. Fold and straighten. A brief return again to one breath, one movement. Body and mind working together. Breath and movement matching. It's okay to rest in a pyramid or a child's pose or a down dog if this is too much. We're going to rest our right foot back down, returning to our pyramid pose. And we're breathing. Preparing for a reverse triangle. Going to take your right hand, actually, no, not your right hand, your left hand to your waist. You're going to twist away from me if possible. And we limit rotation of the spine for pregnancy or low back issues. So you can stay in your pyramid if you'd like. Looking away from me, if you can, raise that left hand up towards the sky. If you still want more sensation, your right hand that's to the floor or to your block, send that right hand to the outside of your left foot to the back side of the camera here. Or the side furthest away from the camera, I should say. And breathe. Let's return back to our pyramid pose. Now walk your hands over towards the center of your mats. Adjust your feet to your wide sunflower feet. And realize the difference in sensation between the left and the right side of your body. Soften your knees, lateral turnout. Breathe in. Let's circle sweep our arms back up to the sky. Breathing out, we release our hands and our energy to our heart center. Let's turn our right toes to face the front of our mats. Press our left heel slightly to the back of our mat. Warrior two arms, triangle pose. Breathe in, lean towards the front of the mat. Your booty goes towards the back of your mat. As we breathe out, dropping the right hand to the knee, shin, block, ankle, foot, or floor. Extend those left fingertips to the sky. Open up through the chest. Our bodies are in between those two imaginary window panes. And we're breathing. Maybe eye gaze up towards our left fingers. Definitely breathing. You can look in my direction, or if you looked up towards that top hand on the other side, do that here to promote a balance for your neck muscles. Let's release. Down pyramid pose, stepping our left foot slightly towards the front of our mat, shortening the gap in between our feet, attempting to straighten through the right knee joint, shifting our hips forward and back to determine if one hip placement over another creates a more desirable sensation. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. Preparing for our one-legged standing straddle splits, folding through our right knee joint, walking our fingertips forward, maybe bring those blocks with you. About 12 inches in front of our right foot, we raise our left foot as high to the sky as possible, drawing our face as close to our right leg as possible. If balance allows, send one hand to our right ankle, maybe both hands, really pointing our left toes as high to the sky as possible as well. Different from balancing half moon, where we only bring our foot up to the height of our spine. Now this foot, for one-legged standing straddle splits, tries to raise up as high to the ceiling as possible. If you want to move into your activated standing straddle splits, release your hands down, breathe in, fold both knees in. Breathe out as we straighten our knees and really point those left toes up to the sky as we straighten through the knee joint. Breathing in through the nose, blowing out through the mouth, through those pursed lips. We're holding our left toes to the sky. Breathe and breathe and breathe. Rest the Left toes down, pyramid pose. Reverse triangle preparation. Raise your right hand to your waist. Twist away from me. You can stay here. You could raise your right elbow or straighten through the right elbow joint, raising the right fingertips to the sky. For more sensation, you can send your left hand to the outside of your right foot and breathe. We return to center. Walking our hands towards the center of our mats, adjusting our feet to our wide sunflower feet. Hopefully achieving a balance between the right and the left sides of our bodies. Softening those knees. We breathe in, circle, sweep our arms to the sky. Breathing out to release our hands and our energy to our heart center. Let's step forward towards the front of our mats. Standing mountain pose, palms are facing forward, shoulders are melting away from our ears. We breathe in, circle, sweep our arms to the sky. Breathe out, we swan dive forward, hinging from our hips. Forward fold. Let's walk, hop or jump, feet back, downward facing dog. Reminding ourselves every time we return to down dog, never quite the same sensation twice. Bodies are a little bit warmer, hamstrings are more flexible now, hopefully. And we breathe, having the liberty to take breaks and drink water at any point during our yoga session. Let's rest our knees down. Walk our hands back towards our knees and wrap our feet around towards the front of our mats. I'm just going to face you so you have a good visual. Seated, spine twist, folding our left knee, right leg will stay forward. You could step this left foot over the right leg for more sensation. It's okay to stay here for less sensation, rotation of the spine again. Taking your left hand behind your back, right hand or right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Breathe in through the low back. Breathe out, maybe look over towards your left side, maybe even over your left shoulder. Dorsiflex your right foot, pull your right toes in towards your face. Return to center, Turkish twist option. So this right leg is still underneath the left. We're going to bend through the right knee joint, attempting to stack knees on top of each other. And you can go crisscross applesauce if this doesn't work for you. You can have hands to heart center and twist right elbow to the outside of the left knee for your Turkish twist. Up to you, you can keep it simple and just rotate. Go with what feels best for your body. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. We return to center. We switch it out to the other side. So, folding through our right knee joint. If you want to step your right foot over your left, you can. Right hand behind the back. Left hand or left elbow to the outside of this right knee. Maybe looking over your right shoulder behind you, possibly dorsiflexing your left foot. Pulling your left toes in towards your body. We return to center, Turkish twist options, now folding through the left knee joint, the bottom leg, and attempting to stack knees on top of each other. This side might be easier, it might be more challenging. Maybe hands to heart center, possibly sending the left elbow to the outside. of the right thigh, potentially Turkish twist this out. We return to center. Okay, we are going into some standing balancing poses. If you want to take the balance out of it, repeat what we just performed right here on the ground from a seated position. Otherwise, let's bring ourselves up. And I'm also going to show you how you can use the wall to assist you on this. We're in a standing mountain pose. Palms are facing forward, shoulders are relaxed away from our ears. We'll start off raising our right foot off of the floor, mirror image. I'm going to walk back to the wall and show you how this will work to get that assistance if you need it. So, got my back up to the wall, left hand to the outside of the right knee, and here I am. Very easy to do this. Now the wall's in my way, so I'm not able to twist, so I'm going to make a quarter turn here, raise this leg up, and if I want, open this arm back and send my eye gaze for my standing spinal twist. Next option, if you have enough hamstring flexibility, take your left peace fingers around your right big toe, straighten through this knee joint, and this is where I'm going to use the wall, and a lot easier here. But from a standing position here, there we go. I gotta go slower. Up to you if you straighten through that knee joint. And breathe. Again, it's okay to perform this seated, in your seated spine twist or your Turkish twist. Let's come on back to center. Let's straighten it out to the other side. We're raising our left foot. You can place your right hand to the outside of the left knee and look over to the side. Maybe open this arm out and look behind you. If you need the assistance of the wall, use that wall. You can stay here. If you want to go to the more challenging option, come back to center. Right peace fingers, wrap and cap around left big toe. Maybe straighten through that knee joint. Maybe send your eye gaze over your left shoulder behind you. Reminding ourselves to breathe out as much as we breathe in. Carefully returning to center. Standing mountain pose. We breathe in, lengthen our arms up and overhead. Breathe out, we swan dive. Hinge from our hips. Hands can rest at thighs, knees, shins, ankles, feet are forward. Ragdoll arms. Send your hands to opposite elbows. Maybe stay here centrally located if you'd like to sway a little bit side to side with your ragdoll arms. You may. We return to center, hang out here in the middle. Using the power of our legs, let's breathe in, circle, sweep our arms up and overhead. Breathing up as we release hands and energy to our heart center. Preparing for a tree balancing pose. We'll start off lifting our right foot, open our right knee over towards the front of my mat for your visual purposes. Also okay to go up against the wall and have that base of the wall behind your back to open up through your posture. Possibly lift your right foot up towards your ankle, your calf, above your knee, or completely up the left inner thigh. Hands can go wherever they want, maybe prayer pose arms, possibly raising those arms up and overhead. When I lift my arms up and overhead, usually my palms aren't able to stay connected. You go with what works best for your body. Some days are different. Some days it's easier to balance on one side over another. With continued practice, we can find ourselves centered. We carefully release. We switch over to the other side. And this side might be easier to balance on. It might be more challenging. Opening the left knee out to the side. We can slide our left foot up if this is acceptable for our body, to our ankle, to our calf, above the knee, or completely up our inner thigh. Maybe prayer pose for those arms, possibly elevating our arms up and overhead, definitely breathing. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. Let's carefully release. We're going to repeat, and for those of you that are not hamstring challenged, I'm going to add the extension of the tree option. So you can come back to your first leg, raising that right foot to your tree option. If you want, right peace fingers wrapping calf around the right big toe. Left hand wherever it wants to go. You could stay here and balance. If you want, straighten through your knee joint and potentially open your heel to the side. Maybe opposite arm elevates, maybe it stays resting to your waist. Always breathe. We carefully release. We switch it out to the other side. Regular tree is completely acceptable. Maybe left peace fingers around left big toe. Possibly straightening through the knee joint, potentially opening the heel out to the side. Maybe elevating opposite arm if balance and flexibility allow. We carefully release, returning to our standing mountain pose. Palms are facing forward, shoulders are relaxed away from our ears. Let's breathe in, lengthen arms up and overhead. Breathe out when we swan dive, hinge from our hips. Forward fold. Soften those knees. Airplane arms, hands reach behind us, palms face the floor. I'll just give you a side view. Tapping our right toes back. Raising our right foot for our warrior three option. Maybe dropping hands to the floor, then biceps by ears. A substitute for warrior three would be spinal balance. Hands and knees, send your right leg back and your left arm forward. And this is an acceptable substitute for your warrior three. You can hold onto the wall as well in a regular warrior three if you're balance challenged. Let's carefully release fingers and toes, forward fold. Preparing for the other side, and if you're in your quadruped position, hands and knees, switch it out. Send that left leg behind you and your right arm forward. Actually, hold on. Let's go airplane arms for those of us doing the warrior three. Tap those left toes back. Raise the left foot up to the height of the spine. Hands can stay here or hands can drop to the floor, and raise biceps by ears for our full warrior three option. Safely release fingers and toes, forward fold. Using the power of our legs. Let's breathe in, circle, sweep our arms back up to the sky. Breathe out. Send our hands behind our backs, returning to a chest expansion for those arms. You could stay upright, or you could include your forward fold. Releasing the hold of our hands. Let's dip our right ear over towards our right shoulder, lengthening the muscles on the side of our neck. Now dip chin towards chest and create a semicircle. Left ear over towards left shoulder. Hang out here and breathe. Dip chin towards chest, stay centrally located. Lift back up. Breathe in, face the front of your mat as you circle sweep your arms to the side. Breathing out as we swan dive, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we're looking forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, let's walk. Hop or jump feet back, downward facing dog, or child's pose extended. We're resting our knees down to our mat, sitting back into a child's pose extended if we're not already there. Preparing for our knot pose, we can send our right hand underneath our left armpit. You can stay here in your child's pose, or if you'd like more sensation, be careful if you have shoulder issues, though. I would not recommend laying on your belly if you have shoulder issues or if you're pregnant. And crisscross those arms, both palms face the sky, and surrender to your breath. Continuing to send positive, healing exhalations to any area of our body where we currently feel sensation. Let's switch the cross of our arms for our knot pose. Repeating our positive affirmation. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. Let's uncross our arms back to our child's pose, or stay laying on your belly. If you're able to stay prone, laying on your belly, hands nice and wide down by your shoulders, gentle cobra, gliding our shoulders away from our ears, we raise our face off of the mat, drawing those shoulder blades towards each other. If you'd like more sensation in your low back, apply pressure to those hands and promote more of an up dog feel. We release back down. Rolling onto one side for our sideline dancer pose. Folding through our top knee, drawing our heel in towards our booty, and we're breathing. Let's carefully release. Transition to the other side. Bottom arm can serve as our pillow for our sideline dancer pose. We release. Find ourselves laying on our backs. Modified pigeon pose. You choose right ankle to left thigh or left ankle to right thigh. Maybe raise your bottom foot off of the floor. Possibly tighten onto your bottom leg. Always breathing. Potentially moving into those Turkish twist legs of stacking knees on top of each other from this position. Potentially reaching for those feet and pulling your feet up towards your face or in towards your face. Let's gently release. Switching over to the other side, ankle to thigh. Modified pigeon pose, reclining pigeon pose. Raise your bottom leg off of the mat if flexibility allows. Possibly sending your hands around the bottom leg. Using the strength of your hands to draw your leg in a little bit closer towards your body. Potentially, Turkish twist legs, stacking knees on top of each other. And drawing the strength of your hands to pull onto your feet to possibly intensify this sensation. Reminding ourselves to breathe out as much as we breathe in. Let's carefully release, uncrossing our legs, preparing to move through some muscle tightening before we enter full relaxation. Let's start off by our lower extremities, our toes. Let's tighten every single muscle as we curl our toes down. Tightening through the toes, moving into the arches of our feet, moving into our heels, tightening the muscles around the ankles, moving up through the calves, the kneecaps, moving up through the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the gluteal muscles, tightening through the glutes. And now moving around our abdominals, engaging through abdominals, tightening those muscles around our core. Moving into tension in through the rib cage, tightening down those shoulders into your biceps and triceps. Fold those elbows, create fists. Moving the tension up into the neck, the throat, the face. Clenching your teeth without going too hard with clenching those teeth. Close those eyes, holding on to every single muscle that you have within your body. Now, from where we started, let's begin to slowly release. We soften through the toes, relaxing through the bottoms, the arches of the feet, relaxing through the heels and the ankles, allowing the feet to flop open, softening through the shins and the calves, the kneecaps relax, softening through the quadriceps, the hamstrings, relaxing through the hips and the gluteal muscles, relaxing through your tailbone, relaxing, moving up through the rib cage, up through the thoracic spine, the shoulders, opening up through the heart center, relaxing into those triceps and biceps, relax through your inner elbows, releasing the tension in your hands and your palms, allowing the fingers to open, the palms to face the sky, releasing that tension through the neck, releasing the jaw, relaxing the mouth, relaxing through your face. Your eyes can remain closed, just avoid tightening. And this is your time. This is your time to relax, to breathe, and to feel. If you would prefer in final relaxation to roll onto your side, into your fetal position, you may. If you feel that laying on your belly would be most beneficial for your your relaxation mode. You may choose this as well. This is your time to breathe. This is your time to feel. If a thought comes to mind, allow your exhalation to erase it. If you're more comfortable with bent knees in the supine, laying on your back position, you may butterfly legs are an option as well. hips gently roll over onto one side, returning to a fetal position, allowing our bottom arm to serve as our pillow, allowing our knees to fold up to our chest. Reawakening fingers and toes as we wiggle through those feet and those fingers and those ankles and those wrists. Reawakening our voices. Today, my presence in this world matters. Today, my presence in this world matters. We gently press ourselves up, returning to our seated position. Our word of the day is actually a phrase of the day, our positive affirmation. Let's breathe in